Good morning, everybody. Welcome to the Central Coast Center for Spiritual Living Love Stream. Yes, indeed, we're going to share a lot of love, and we're going to be looking ahead today. And I'm looking right now at Amy Bishop, who's coming to us all the way from Calgary, our first international artist. We are so excited to have Amy here today. And I'm also going to ask that you share this video on a Facebook party, watch party, or just share it with friends. Also, there's the YouTube channel that you can also share the YouTube video with. Anyways, I'm going to let Amy get us started and warm us up for Reverend Elizabeth and Charlie and all of us together today. And here we go.
I always wish that I was cooler, that I didn't samba to the beat of my own heart, like the girls I worshiped back when I was a high schooler. A thinner thighed, higher cheekbone, work of art, constantly worrying what people thought about me, and somehow scared that they don't think of me at all. Happy to hover on the outskirts or boundary, just let me hang around, I promise to stay small, but I don't fit inside a box. I'll never fit inside a box. Round peg, square hole, I'm not your average Barbie doll, no. I don't fit inside a box. Not one size fits all. Always dreaming to be bolder, brighter, better, 'cause life is so much easier on the other side. But if I could write the 13-year-old me a letter, I'd say love yourself before the best of you has died. And maybe I could open up and show you all my devils, let you really see what lives under this skin. But I'm horrified on way too many levels just to even think of letting someone in, 'cause I don't fit inside a box. I'll never fit inside a box. Round peg, square hole, I'm not your average Barbie doll, no. I don't fit inside a box. Not one size fits all. Oh, I don't fit inside a box. I'll never fit inside a box. Round peg, square hole, I'm not your average Barbie doll. I don't fit inside a box. Not one size fits all. Oh.
Wow. Oh, so beautiful. Thank you so much, Amy Bishop. Woohoo! We're so grateful and blessed to have you here with us today. Hello, friends. My name is Reverend Elizabeth Rowley, and I'm the spiritual director and senior minister here at the Central Coast Center for Spiritual Living. And I would like to welcome you to the Central Coast Center for Spiritual Living, where all that we ask is that you remain open to the possibility of changing your entire life by changing your mind. This service has been designed especially for you. Welcome home. We have an affirmation that will be put on the screen here, and I invite you to please repeat after me. I am an ever-evolving, living embodiment of love.
I am an ever-evolving, living embodiment of love.
Let's do that 2 more times. I am an ever-evolving, living embodiment of love.
I am an ever evolving living embodiment of love.
One more time. I'm an ever evolving, living embodiment of love.
I am an ever evolving living embodiment of love.
And so it is.
And so it is.
All right. And now I'm happy to turn it over to Travis, who will introduce our amazing musician for today. Thank you.
Good morning, beloveds. My name is Travis Hogue, and I am the music director of our beloved Central Coast Center for Spiritual Living in Templeton, California, streaming to you from San Luis Obispo, from our home. And it gives me great pleasure and honor to introduce Amy Bishop. Let me just read a little bit about Amy. So it has been said that Amy Bishop's voice is a combination of smooth pavement and gravel road. She has the ability to charm listeners with her sweet tones and sense of humor, yet stun audiences with the ability to hit any high note. Amy has always had a great passion for music, leading to her collaborations with Moby and opening for April Wine, Farmer's Daughter, and Chris Cummings. I bet there's some great memories there, right, Amy? Amy is currently recording her 8th studio release. She's been busy. We pulled her out of the studio to do a sound check last night, and it was amazing. And she's going to be going right back into the studio after this love stream. I just want to give a little bit more raise and praise to you, Amy. Amy is the music director for the Calgary Center for Spiritual Living, and she's also the Center for Spiritual Living International Music Director. Amazing. Another place that you can look for Amy is with her interview series on Facebook, Science of Mind magazine. Her latest interview posted last week with Jesse Cook, so we get a really intimate look into Jesse Cook's life and through the beautiful methodology of Amy's interview style. It was awesome. So I invite you to seek her out on Amy Bishop Music on Facebook. Go look at the Science of Mind magazine, like those, get notified whenever there's some activity there. You can also find and purchase Amy Bishop music on amybishopmusic.com and pretty much anywhere music is sold. We raise and praise you, Amy Bishop. We are so grateful that you're here. Light us up. Amy Bishop. Oh, man, that's awesome. Thank you, Amy Bishop. All right. All right, so I am back. Good morning to everybody. I'm returning with my announcements angel outfit. I will now read the announcements for January 24th, 2021. Good morning. With everything we do, we aim to raise the vibe. We teach innovative spiritual practices and principles that inspire deeper love of self and others, transformation, a closer relationship with God, freedom from suffering, expansive joy, prosperity, and healing of the body, mind, and spirit. We are a conscious group of positive, inspired, spiritually motivated individuals transforming lives. We just happen to have a spiritual center online. Want to check us out? Yeah! All right. We are now in the year of the 45th anniversary of our center's existence. That is a picture of our center in Templeton, California, on the Central Coast, this little jewel of a building in a jewel of a community, and now the community is expanded globally, and its epicenter is that little building right there. 45 years. The center was born on August 20th, 1976. As we kick off our 45th year, we invite everyone watching to consider making a contribution of $45. That would be fantastic. So if you would, please join us for coffee and conversation after the service at 11 a.m.-ish Pacific time via Zoom. The link will be in the comment section here, and you can also find it on our center's webpage in the Coffee and Conversation event. Next, join us for our spiritual community connection calls. Build your immunity with spiritual community. Every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday at 1 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. You can find the link in our Facebook page under events, and I welcome you to come and check in, let us know how you're doing, and pray with us, have some fun. They're always great. Monday, Wednesday, and Friday, 1 p.m. Pacific Time. Next up, we have our book discussion group, facilitated by Karen Robert, which begins on February 4th. This is for the book Me and White Supremacy. In this book study, if you're interested in participating, please email us at info@cccsl.org for details. And, oh, great, next Sunday, we are very blessed to have Daniel Nimad debut with us for our musical inspiration. That'll be fantastic. Awesome. And next up is our e-news. So many of you have asked me and asked us, how do we get to know what's happening at the center? There's always so much, and the e-news is the best receptacle for that. To subscribe to our e-news, you want to keep up with all the amazing events happening at our center by going to our website, and that is cccsl.org. Choose the e-news and follow the instructions there, or you can simply email us at info@cccsl.org, and we'll get you added. And if you forget, you can always message me, and I'll get you added to the e-news. And nextly, I would like to thank you for your ongoing donations to our center during this unique time. You know, our operations are fully supported by your generosity, and we're looking forward to gathering at our physical center in Templeton in the future when it's safe. But you can donate here on Facebook Live with the donate button, or via PayPal at paypal.me/CCCSL love. That's CCCSL love, all one word. If you're watching on the replay, you can also visit our webpage at ccccsl.org and click the donate link at the center of the page. And I want to thank you for your consideration. We love you. We miss you. We're sending out hugs to you all. We raise and praise you. And that, my beloveds, has been the announcements.
Wonderful. Thank you so much, Travis. Best announcements angel ever. And so, friends, if there is something heavy on your heart for which you would like prayer for, or maybe there's something you're looking to manifest in your life, I invite you to please send your prayer requests to us at info@cccsl.org. and your prayer team will pray over your prayers for the next week. And now it's my honor to turn it over to our amazing Charley Carlin for the Science of Mind reading for today. Charley.
Thank you very much, Reverend Elizabeth. Thank you. Well, welcome to the 24th of January. It's our fourth week of January, and we're going to talk about how to use it. You know, all of this learning is good. Practical application is even better. But chapter 4 is one of my favorite parts of the Science of Mind. We've talked about the thing itself, how it works, what it does. Now let's get to the one you have been waiting for, how to use it. Let's see what Dr. Holmes has to say in the Science of Mind. On page 57, he states, the one who wishes to scientifically to work out his problems must daily take the time to meditate and mentally treat the conditions, no matter what the apparent conditions may be. Further, on page 52, he continues, there's no doubt about the availability of the law. The law is infinite. It is right where you are. It is right where you happen to be at any instant. It occupies all space and fills every form. It flows through everything. And since we exist, it must be in and through us. This is the crux of the whole matter. Infinite, as the law is, ever present and available as it must be, it must flow through us to manifest for us. It must and will respond to everyone because it is law. We are surrounded by an intelligent force and substance from which all things are made. It is around us in its original state, ready and willing to take form through the impulse of our creative belief. It works for us by flowing through us. This law we did not create. This law we cannot change. We can use it correctly only as we understand and use it according to its nature. Hence, it follows that if we believe it will not work, it really works by appearing to not work. When we believe it cannot and will not, then according to the principle, it does not. But when it does not, it still does, only it does according to our belief that it will not. So let us apply this right now. On page 56, Dr. Holmes continues, I am a center in the divine mind, a point of God, conscious life, truth, and action. My affairs are divinely guided into right action. There is power in the words that I speak because it is of the truth and it is the truth. This is perfect and continuous right action in my affairs. I am compelled to do the right thing at the right time, to say the right thing at the right time, to follow the right course at all times. All suggestions of age, poverty, limitation, or unhappiness are uprooted from my mind and cannot gain entrance to my thoughts. I am happy, well, and fulfilled with perfect life. I live in the spirit of truth and am conscious that the spirit of truth lies in me. There is no unbelief, no doubt, no uncertainty. I know, and I know that I know. Let every thought of doubt vanish from my mind, that I may know the truth, and the truth makes me free. And so it is.
Ah, beautiful, Charley. Yes, and so it is. And so let's just continue with that feeling and that prayer and that knowing. And I invite everybody to just turn within right now, wherever you are, just closing your eyes if that's comfortable for you, and centering into the space you are at. Maybe taking a deep breath or two. And together, in this vein of all that Charley has spoken about, science of mind and the teaching, that we claim together that there really is truly only one spirit. There is one divinity, one God, whatever you choose to call it, the name for you that is closest to your heart, to your connection with this spirit. And knowing that we are many paths to this one place, and it is awesome. And that we are all absolutely united together. We are united with the spirit of truth and love and graciousness and abundance, divinity, all of it. It is in us, and it acts in and through us, because we are these individual expressions of the one, which does not mean we are separate. It means we are just different areas, just as different parts of the body are the one body. For the hand is different than the foot and the eye, but it is all still one body, working together to create a wonderful experience. And I know that is exactly what we are doing right here, right now, today, as we are all coming from different places. From Reverend Elizabeth and Travis in San Luis Obispo, Charley in Atascadero, myself in Paso Robles, and Amy all the way up in Calgary. And for other international guests that we have here today that I've already seen appear, we are spanning the globe, and our energy reaches out together, holding the spiritual hands of each other and uplifting each other. And as we do this together, we uplift the rest of humanity as well. For the rest of our community here across the United States, in Colorado and Arizona, Virginia, all over. It's amazing. It's amazing that Spirit is working through each of us right now to be presenting this service of love. And we know that Spirit is speaking through Reverend Elizabeth in such beautiful and unique ways, and we see it in her smile and her laugh. And Amy's music is so beautiful, talking about the uniqueness, the individuality that God is. And we all embrace that together. And so I'm so grateful for this time and this service right here, right now, and for all of us who are together in whatever time it is, whether it's tomorrow or right now or next week or a year from now, it's still us all together. And I'm grateful for that. And so I could just release into the law of mind that Charley was speaking of. We release into the law, for we know the law works. And we let these words work for us, and we allow Spirit to do its work. And so we take our hands off, we release and we let go, and we allow it to be. And together we say, and so it is.
My voice it soars, but will I speak up? My eyes do see, but will I look? These boots do walk, but will they show up? Gotta give up my people-pleasing ways, shed the lies of yesterday. Yeah, these hands are strong, but will they break through this well-laid wall of doubt and shame? My heart's been drenched in brick and mortar, but I brought the wall into the world and I can tear it down. So watch out, I am done with hiding. I'm through stumbling around. Wake up, the time has come for me to know it. Only love and speak and show it. Unstoppable, blue eyes that see the haze is lifted. This pounding heart won't be contained, and I can hear the faintest whisper, rumbling, rising, thumping, driving on my soul, and gotta sing. Watch out, I am done with hiding. I'm through stumbling around. Wake up, time has come for me to know it. Only love and speak and show it. Unstoppable, playing hide and seek with all my secret dreams. I can keep them locked inside of me, or I can choose to live them out. Oh, I can choose to live unstoppable. I am whatever I say I am. I'm through stumbling around. Wake up, wake up. The time has come for me to wake up, wake up. You better believe I'm gonna wake up, wake up. Time has come for me to know it, own it, love it, speak it, show it, wanna take it, work it, say it, believe it, live it, think it, see it, be it. Unstoppable.
Woo! Thank you. I'm awake. I don't know about y'all.
There you go.
And Travis is over here saying, I asked her to play something with a little energy. There you go. Thank you, Amy Bishop, everyone. I saw so much love coming through on the live stream here as well. Wow. Oh my goodness. We're unstoppable and we are awake. Okay. Hello. I'm Reverend Elizabeth Rowley. If you're just tuning in, I'm the spiritual director and senior minister at the Central Coast Center for Spiritual Living in Templeton. I am broadcasting to you live today from my condo in San Luis Obispo here with my husband, Travis. Woo-hoo! Who is our center's music director. And I would like to now take this opportunity to say, welcome to KGOD, everyone's favorite station, broadcasting today's highest consciousness to you live from eternity, commercial free, with everyone's favorite DJ, God. Yay, God. The thing itself that knows what you love and leads you to it. A special shout out to our sponsors, love, peace, joy, compassion, bliss, harmony, wisdom, and abundance. When traveling, please be sure to check out our sister stations, KTRU, KLUV, KIM, and KONE. Today's broadcast is brought to you by the angels and the cosmic merry maids of the universe. Now, don't turn that dial. Your celestial song is coming up next. Warning, listening to this station for prolonged periods may lead to ecstatic joy, profound prosperity, sparkling light, overwhelming clarity, and the peace that passes human understanding. Listen at your own bliss. Yes. Everyone take a deep breath with me. Here we are, my friends. So last week, the topic was here and now. And I spoke about living in the nowness of the moment, which is really behind or beyond the past, present, and future. In the nowness of the moment, we truly get and feel and believe and know that all is well. In the nowness of the moment, you are connected and you know you're connected and directed by a source that knows only good. In the nowness of the moment, there is no doubt. There's no worry, anxiety, or fear. You are free to be all that you came here to be. And you are really present and available to what is here is God in form, expressing itself as you. And that is magnificent. And by the way, did you hear that the past, the present, and the future walked into a bar? It was tense.
Oh, God.
It's been a while, so hey, just checking to see if you're awake. So yeah, today the topic is looking ahead. So this is interesting, right? Now our theme for January is timeless wisdom, evolutionary vision. And so the timeless wisdom, you know, the science of mind principles, the teachings that we are standing on the shoulders of giants, and we look ahead into what is coming, right? And so we're looking ahead. And this week I witnessed, and I know a lot of you, if not most of you, if not all of you, let's say that, probably saw or heard or have seen the meme somewhere on the internet or heard from your friends this week. If you didn't watch the inauguration on Wednesday, 22-year-old Amanda Gorman gave a great example of looking ahead when she recited her poem, The Hill We Climb. Now, the words of the poem were very powerful, and the way that she spoke the words, is what really resonated with me so deeply. Now, I'm going to just read a few of those lines for you to remind you and refresh. So, where can I find light in this never-ending shade, is how she began. And she said, we are striving to form a union with purpose, to compose a country committed to all cultures, colors, characters, and conditions of man. And so we lift our gazes not to what stands between us, but what stands before us. And in doing so, we close the divide because we know to put our future first, we must put our differences aside. Now, those are just a few lines of what she spoke about. And she said, we lay down our arms so we can reach out our arms to one another. And so, my friends, regardless of our political beliefs, regardless of whether you're Republican or Democrat or otherwise, these are powerful words. And that is what has inspired me. We are called to reach out our arms to one another in loving kindness. You know, I love what the great Sufi poet Rumi wrote, which is out beyond ideas of wrongdoing and right doing. There is a field. I'll meet you there. Let's meet in that field, my friends. It is time. And now here's the experience I've been having. I've got friends. There are people in our community who are Republican. There are people in our community who are Democrat and have voted in their particular ways, right? But there still exists this divide. And that is what is troubling for me. The call for us is to meet in that field, you know, out beyond ideas of wrongdoing and right doing. There's a field. I'll meet you there. Let us meet there so that we can truly begin to heal ourselves and heal the collective society as we are, because we cannot let's see, we don't want to continue to be divisive, right? We want to be inclusive and become a place where we can draw others to us in love and in kindness, right? And so that is the calling for us. So how are we doing that? We're meeting in this field. We know it's time. And so we stand there and know that there is room for everyone. And it's time for us to really look at where we want to go. And so when I was pondering and contemplating my talk for today, I was reminded of water skiing in looking where you want to go and remembering that I remember when I first learned to water ski, and I've shared that story with how I learned and when I was younger. And then finally in my 30s, I actually learned successfully. And then after that, I wanted to do something new. You know, my friends were skiing behind the boat and they would go from the left to the right, the left to the right. And I thought, well, look at them owning the lake. That is just so cool. I want to do that. But I would try, and it was like I was forcing myself, like turning my body. And they told me, all you have to do is look where you want to go. And I thought it was preposterous, right? Like, oh, sure. And so I tried it though. So sure enough, I looked. I didn't have to move or anything. I'm holding onto the rope and just look, right? It's like a little tilt of the head, if even that. And sure enough, eventually, zoom, I go off to the left and then I look to the right and then zoom. And I was so amazed at the ease and grace of how that worked. And so we are called to look where we want to go, because we've got to be careful where we're going. We just might get there, you know, and we don't want to become like a leaf blowing in the wind. We're called to really set our intention and be available and present to where it is that we do want to go. Where do you want to go is the question I have for you today. Do you want to be inclusive? Do you want to be in a community, in a world that works for everyone? Of course you do. That's why you're here on this, watching this live stream today, and you're part of this community. And so I love the story in the Bible. I don't quote the Bible a lot, but it's from 2 Kings chapter 3, which is about the three kings, the king of Israel, Judah, and Edom. They set out for this revenge against the Moab people. And after marching for 7 days through the desert, they ran out of water for themselves, their army, and their animals that they had with them. And they were very distraught and so upset. And they sought to speak to a prophet of God and came upon Elijah. And they were hanging out in the desert. I'm paraphrasing the Bible, obviously, hanging out in the desert, discussing the issue, brainstorming, how are we going to feed these folks, and how are we going to have enough water? They're going to get dehydrated and get sick, and bad things are happening. And so they're just hanging out and brainstorming, and there's a harpist playing. And suddenly God speaks to Elijah and tells him, Elijah, have them dig ditches all over this valley. Here's what will happen. You won't hear the wind. You won't see the rain, but this valley is going to fill up with water, and your army and animals will drink their fill. And so Elijah shares this with the kings, and the kings don't believe him. They're like, what is this guy talking about? They're not sure if he should be trusted, given the fact that there are no clouds in the sky for miles, none for miles. It's the middle of the summer, and the rain seemed impossible. So they were still concerned about the men collapsing while digging ditches also in the heat. But anyway, they finally thought, what have we got to lose? And they agreed to having them do so. So the men went to work digging their ditches all over that valley. They dug their ditches and went to bed that night. And the next morning they got up, and sure enough, there it was, ditches filled to overflowing with water. And so this is how we build our tomorrow today, my friends. We dig our ditches, right? We're looking ahead. We are hearing the calling within our hearts from the divine and taking that step to build it, even though we may not see it yet, even though it seems impossible, just like these guys did. That is such a powerful story. And so the invitation continues for us to look ahead, right? Look ahead. We have seen the experience of the past and what has occurred. What is coming? What else is possible? What else is possible? And then we set our intention and get to work on moving forward. One of the things that we're called to really be is self-aware. Now, self-awareness is the practice that illuminates our alignment with each of the science of mind principles. It is the practice of being conscious of one's motives, internal dialogue, and hidden beliefs. So when we're self-aware, we get to be present to our motivation. Well, I'm doing this thing. Why am I doing this thing? And that is an invitation that the question we must ask ourselves regularly. What is my motivation behind doing this? It is a willingness to observe and take responsibility for our own internal and external choices. Self-awareness is the foundation for conscious choice. Now, Ernest Holmes in the Science of Mind textbook, page 387, paragraph 1 said the spiral of life is upward and evolution carries us forward. Evolution carries us forward. Now, there has been a clear evolution in our teaching, not of our timeless principles, but how they can be more inclusive of the totality of who we are. We birthed as a teaching about the mind and our thoughts, and this is demonstrated in our powerful declaration of principles. Next, we evolved to include our heart and widen the circle from individual empowerment to collective healing with our global vision. Now we are being called to widen that circle even more to include the body and somatic wisdom. Now, I love this because we don't always hear about this, right? So there is wisdom of our body. Our body carries great wisdom, and we're called to become more conscious and available to that wisdom. Now, how do we do that? Right? Well, there's something called the Art of Somatic Coaching by Richard Straussy Heckler. And he says that when we connect with the core energy of the body, we contact a vast reservoir of wisdom, compassion, and intelligence that we have neglected. Over 3 billion years of embodied knowledge of survival, adapting, social intelligence, coordinating, intuition, and reciprocity lie largely unused in us. If we learn to listen to this life energy, to act from it, there's much it can teach us about living spiritual values while our feet are firmly on the ground. Now, this somatic intelligence affirms the truth of our interdependence, interconnectedness, and a power that lies beyond the self. And so that, again, is from The Art of Somatic Coaching by Richard Straussy Heckler. And so in a few minutes, I'm going to lead us in a centering practice that is also by Richard Straussy Heckler. And in this centering practice, we will become present in our bodies. And so the next piece today I wanted to look at was understanding spiritual bypass and the shadow. So spiritual bypassing is really that tendency to use spiritual ideas and practices to sidestep or avoid facing unresolved emotional issues, psychological wounds, and unfinished developmental tasks. So the term was introduced by John Wellwood, a Buddhist teacher and psychotherapist. Now, our teaching can be attractive to those who think they can bypass their emotions. You may hear things thrown about like, well, we are 100% responsible for our experiences, or everything happens for your good, and you're feeling like, but I don't feel good right now, right? And so we are not called to deny the complex nature of our lives and our universe. We are humans, right? We are spiritual beings having a human experience, and the human experience cannot be ignored. And so we allow ourselves to be in our humanness. What does that mean to me? That means get mad, have a little upset, right? It happens. It's like you can't pretend like it's not happening, right? So we can move through our upsets and move through our anger as we learn how to process and express and move through it and then get to the spiritual truth. But we're not called to just throw platitudes upon each other in the times of our feeling moments. We're humans. We're only human. We are amazingly, powerfully human, okay? So it can be really harmful to our well-being to deny this healthy processing of emotions through our systems. And so I encourage you, if that maybe that has happened to you, or maybe you felt that kind of rub before, the invitation is to just raise that flag, and speak up and say, well, I'm just needing to feel my feelings in this moment, and I'm moving swiftly into the spiritual truth that I know is mine to be, right? And so we want to be grounded in spirituality. Now, Jeff Brown is someone who wrote about the spiritual bypass and shadow. And he spoke about this concept of everything happens for a reason, and how that mantra emerged as a necessary counterbalance to the idea that we're always victims in situations. Sometimes, though, we do actually play a role in what has been manifest now. As so often in the circumstances, our unconscious patterns and beliefs are doing the choosing, right? And so people come to me often wanting a new relationship, and They're ready to manifest the relationship of their dreams, but they are concerned about recreating the same relationship of the past. And that the reason being is there's unconscious patterns and unconscious beliefs that haven't been addressed. And so there are ways to address both of those. And it begins with self-awareness, right? And so just like all polarized mantras, though, everything happens for a reason can go too far in one direction and ignores situations where suffering is needless. But everything happens for a reason, yes, but it's not always a good one. There is always some degree of misguided action on this planet, and we can't always determine why something happened to someone else. So it's always better for us to come from a place of compassion when confronted with a person's hardship, and let them decide if the reason was a good one. Let them decide if it was a gift. Blanket statements like you are exactly where you are supposed to be, no matter what someone's life circumstances and challenges are, have become sort of hollow and empty platitudes, right? So there is no question that we can often learn something of value wherever we are on our path. And yes, we may have in some situation attracted the exact challenge that we need to grow, but that does not imply that we are always right where we are supposed to be, except when we are. So that's when we are choosing every reality, right? I know it's deep. You're going to have to sit with that one. Because yes, you are exactly where you are supposed to be. The great paradox of life, right? And so again, sometimes our suffering is needless and the result of another person's wrongdoing. And so being this place of compassion allows us to be this place for another with open hearts. So we are called to have an open heart and to allow ourselves to be in the feelings of others, positive, seeming negative, whatever the case may be, and allow them to stand in that and then feel their way into their new experience and to look in the direction that they want to go. Because I do believe that while some of us may be experiencing life in different ways, what we do want is an experience of letting our spiritual, radiant, magnificent selves shine like the light that we are, right? Spirit landed in this body, in each of our bodies to experience and express itself for this time on this planet. And we have this precious life available to us. How will we use it? How will we use it, right? And so knowing that we are all learning and growing, I know that we all stand in that affirmative truth, knowing that we can feel it. Well, we can reveal it, feel it, and heal it. And healing it is to bring our awareness of God to it, right? See the God, feel the spiritual truth, and know it in every way. And so lastly, we are healing. We're in a state of healing our individual and collective trauma in this time. So we have individual traumas and collective traumas from the pandemic, from systemic racism, and now from political unrest. And it's like a constant thing happening, right? So we're called to address these through embodied practices that include our minds, our hearts, and our bodies. And so by doing this, we're addressing collective unconsciousness and whatever it is unconscious that is perpetuating the ideas of separation. And so as we expand our awareness and understand that we are swimming in the embodiment of white privilege and systemic racism, that we are all subject to this trauma being passed down through generations and generations, then we can come to an understanding of oneness. And oneness is what calls us to address these issues, right? Oneness, the space within us that knows we are connected, that knows that If others are hurting, we are also hurting, right? Which is not what we want. And so I'm going to share this experience of the centering exercise with you now. So I invite you to, wherever you are, stand up. Stand up and and then you're going to let your arms come down to your side. And know that in this moment we are centering on 4 dimensions, and these are 4 dimensions that are common to all living beings, from the single cell protoplasm to a giraffe. And those 4 dimensions are length, width, depth, and an organizing principle or purpose. Now we're going to begin with length. Live inside of your length as you're standing here. Just come into the length of your body. Feel the length of your body as you straighten up in your stance. And as you're straightening and settling in, you want to keep your eyes open, but I invite you to allow your eyes to relax. In fact, allow yourself to come behind your eyes. And open your mouth slightly to allow a little space between your teeth so that the jaw and chin are relaxed. Now take your shoulders up to your ears and let them drop. Feel, center, or imagine that the mass, the muscular system, is resting on the skeletal system. Allow your breath to drop. And notice that your knees are slightly soft. And this is called the human line of dignity. Now we're going to center on our width. Now I invite you to sway back and forth from left to right a little bit. And then shorten the sway until you come right into that middle space. This is the horizontal plane. And really, it's our social plane. This is where we connect with others. The length is our bridge between heaven and earth, but on our width, this is what we are connecting to at our width is we're connecting as social animals. And now we'll come into our depth, our front and our back. Because most of our senses are out in the front and we hold most of our machines in front of us, we have this tendency to lean forward. So bring your attention to your back. Can you feel the space between your shoulder blades? Can you feel your low back? If you can't feel it, you need to wiggle into it until you get there. Just let yourself wiggle in a little bit. And remember, yes, we have a back, which are our teachers, our mentors, our guides, those who have come before us, those who have helped build this path. And our heart is open. Our chest is open. Now take your hand and place it just below your belly button. Just below your belly button. Now that's your center of gravity. That's where physically our organized principle is. It's also called a center of action or will. Sometimes it's called the hara, tantian, or kaph in different cultures. And now come up to your heart center. Bring your hand up. Our center of compassion, goodwill, benevolence. As long as we're here with our hands, let your hand thank your heart and lungs for all the work it does without having to pay any attention to it. Say thank you to your heart. Thank you, heart. Thank you, lungs. Now let's go to the eye center, and we can put our hands down now. This is the pineal gland, where we have perception, long horizon, time, history. Now align these three centers. So the three centers are just below your belly button, the heart, and just above your eyes here. So you're wanting to consciously align these three centers. Bring your attention into your body and align those three centers so that you are prepared for action. There is a grounded sense of compassion, and we have a pragmatic wisdom. And from this space, we can set our intention for the day. This is a place where you can ask yourself, if this day is successful for me, what will happen? What is my intent? Now you're going to open your fingers and extend them down. It's kind of like that. And hold this posture as a way of saying thank you to the earth. And consider that everything you've ever eaten and drank comes from the earth. The grasses, thank the grasses and the trees and the winged ones. And then let's extend up. Bring your arms up and give thanks to the heaven, space, water, our other neighborhood, and extend out palms now. Down to your sides, extend your palms out. And give thanks to people. Say to your best enemy and your worst friend, thank you. Thank you. Okay, you can be seated again. All right, friends. And so that's how we can practice a somatic centering exercise where we get present to the centers of our body and where we are in this experience of spiritual beings having a human experience on this planet, Earth, and with our feet firmly planted on the ground, giving thanks for this planet and the heavens, the cosmos, and all the good that is surrounding us always. So we, in conclusion, have the timeless wisdom to apply our evolutionary vision of a world that works for everyone by harnessing not only the power of our collective mind, but our collective heart and our collective body as well. This is an embodied spirituality that will take us to the next level of our evolution. To do so, we need to acknowledge the wisdom of our bodies, not be afraid of our embodied emotions, and come together in collective healing of our generational trauma. Who's with me in doing this? If so, can I get an and so it
And
is?
so it is.
Thank you, Travis. Studio audience of one. Awesome. All right, my friends. Well, thank you for tuning in to KGOD, all spirit, all the time, commercial free. Keep tuning in to KGOD and you will learn to accentuate the positive and let go of the negative, which leads to a successful, optimistic, happy, and fulfilled life. Today's broadcast was brought to you by the angels and the cosmic Merry Maids of the universe. We hope you enjoyed hearing your celestial song of love, peace, joy, harmony, abundance, wisdom, compassion, and bliss. Let's pray. So, turning our attention inward, once again, we connect with the cosmos, because in this space, in this moment now, I know and absolutely believe with every fiber of my being that spirit is all that there is. It's all that there ever was and all that there ever will be. And I'm so grateful for this opportunity to tune in to KGOD, which is a powerful frequency vibrating at the most high. And as we tune into KGOD, we can allow the static to dissipate. It's like an actual radio station, you know, when you're driving and you leave the territory for that station and it starts to get fuzzy, and then suddenly a new station comes on. And so I'm knowing for each one of us that we are stronger and better every single day, because every day in every way we are getting better and better, and we are tuned into KGOD. And that means that we know the truth, and we can walk through this experience of being human with courage and faith and conviction, because I know that I have God, and whoever has God lacks nothing. And so I'm grateful to know that as we go forward from here, each one of us is practicing living in this embodiment of the wisdom of our body. We say no to spiritual bypass and yes to our good. We say yes, most importantly, to ourselves. And as we go forward through the rest of our days, I know that we are guided and directed by Source. And I'm so grateful for the intentions that have been set and the intentions that are continuing to be set as we look forward with radiant eyes of the divine. I know that all is truly well, and I am grateful as I release this prayer, knowing it is so, and so it is.
And so it is.
Yes.
I'd rather stand on the edge of a cliff and hang my toes over a bit, and then jump when they dare me, even if it scares me and I get hurt. I'd rather build my wings on the way down, do my best not to fall to the ground, and then laugh at my mistakes, 'cause each one's a lesson I learned. I'd rather burn with desire deep in my soul, and love like a fire that's out of control, and laugh and dance and fall and chance and kiss. I'd rather live my whole life with a sense of abandon, squeeze every drop out no matter what happens, and not wonder what I missed. I'd rather risk. Well, I guess I could just play it safe and forget about love, hope, and faith, with my eye on the shoreline, keeping my boat tight, staying home. Oh, but I'll never discover new lands if I'm keeping my feet on the sand. and laugh and dance and fall and chance and kiss. I'd rather live my whole life with the sense of abandon. Squeeze every drop out no matter what happens, and not wonder what I missed. I'd rather risk. I would rather risk. I'd rather burn with desire in my soul and love like a fire that's out of control, and live my whole life with a sense of abandon. Squeeze every drop out no matter what happens, and I wonder what I miss. Oh, I just can't resist the chance to risk. Oh, to live and love and laugh and dance and fall and chance and kiss. I'd rather live and love and laugh and dance and fall and chance and kiss. I'd rather risk. I'd rather risk. I'd rather risk.
Whoa.
Holy smokes!
We're over here like mind blown. Wow. Sing it, Amy. Oh my goodness. Thank you. Just like sang to my soul.
It just blew my hair back.
My hair just straightened. It was curlier earlier. No. Wow. Wow. Oh, wow. And in the comments, Amy, you're just getting so much love. So, okay, friends, if this service inspired you in any way, we invite you to please consider making a contribution to our center. And we have a giving affirmation that I will now say, and I invite you to please repeat after me. From the love of pure spirit within me, I bless this gift.
From the love of pure spirit within me, I bless this gift.
I send it forth to heal and bless and prosper.
I send it forth to heal and bless and prosper.
It is evidence of my faith and my belief.
It is evidence of my faith and my belief.
It does great work in the world
does great work in the world
and returns to me multiplied abundantly.
and returns to me multiplied abundantly.
And so it
And
is.
so it is.
Oh my goodness. Okay. Friends, won't you know with me that you are never alone, that God is where you are right now and always. And all that we ever need do is look within, and it is here we will find we are guided, sustained, directed, and inspired by a source that knows only good. Joyously, let us make use of these gifts in all that we think, in all that we say, and in all that we do. And please repeat after me. Something wonderful is happening as me right now.
Something wonderful is happening as me right now.
It is this thing called life.
It is this thing called life.
Life is in my mind.
Life is in my mind.
Life is in my body.
Life is in my body.
Life is in my relationships.
Life is in my relationships.
Life is in my pocketbook.
Life is in my pocketbook.
Life is everywhere.
Life is everywhere.
I think it.
I think it.
I feel it.
I feel it.
I believe it.
I believe it.
I express it.
I express it.
I accept it.
I accept it.
Just the way that it is.
Just the way that it is.
And just the way that it is not.
And just the way that it is not.
Thank you, life.
Thank you, life.
Woo! Thank you, Amy Bishop. Wow.
Yeah, man, what a powerhouse. Amy, you're so powerful, you're like blowing the equipment away.
Oh. I was getting as far from my microphone as I could.
I know. We it's all right.
Wow.
The energy, you know, is out there, and yeah, people are just feeling it. I'm feeling it. I wish we could be live with you in the room, because I know, man, it'd be vibrating our bodies, right?
So true. It's so cute. It does. Yeah.
Yeah, we really, really appreciate that. Amy, we're going to be in a Zoom private chat. I don't know if you're going to be able to join us for a few minutes or not.
I'm
I know
actually
you're
heading
busy.
straight to the studio right after this. So
Yeah.
thank
Well,
you everybody for all the love, and I'm sure it'll get passed along.
Yeah, and as everyone could see where you can connect with Amy, there's so much good stuff out there, so we're excited for that. And for the rest of you, yeah, we'll see you over at Zoom. And so Amy, maybe you could just take us out with a little reprise of something.
I'd rather burn with desire in my soul and love like a fire that's out of control, and laugh and dance and fall and chance kiss. I'd rather live my whole life with a sense of abandon, squeeze every drop out no matter what happens, and not wonder what I missed. I'd rather